since in the background when you will see the screen, then maybe you are not able to focus what I am saying. The whatever I have written in the class slides will be shared with all of you once the class will be over, every class. Don't worry. So you don't have to write anything. Just when you are studying, your room should be closed, mobile phone should be switched off. Focus on understanding the concept. So the first area in the syllabus written by ACCA Institute as a revision of management accounting. Why they are using the word revision? Reason is only one. Maybe there are many students who are doing the ACCA after graduation and they have not given the exam for management accounting in knowledge level, foundation level. They are saying that some basic understanding revision of management accounting is required. Why that is exemption given? Those basic things you have studied in your graduation also. So for that reason, those basic things are not covered again, but as a revision, they have included a topic. But even though it's a revision, the questions in the exams comes from those areas and maybe not a question. If we don't do the revision, we will not be able to proceed further. For bringing everybody on the same page, same understanding, I need to teach the revision. In CMA US, there is no question of revision. It's only two-part exam. So these things are a part of the syllabus only, not a question of revision. But most of the CMA students are also graduate. And in the graduation, whatever I am going to teach, you have studied. So there is no problem. But I am assuming for every student, the knowledge is zero. We are studying costing management accounting first time in life. So there is no tension to anybody. And when I am teaching, there is no relation with CMA, ACCA, CIMA, this, that. Any course where costing and management accounting is there, it is relevant. Whatever I will discuss. So forget about your course material and all that. You can say that for CMA US, I am teaching about part D, the basic cost, principles and all that. I am teaching today part D, CMA US part D. In ACCA, I am teaching the revision of management accounting. In CIMA, again, this is there in the P1 syllabus operational level. So for them, it is a revision of P1. That is not a part of P2 syllabus. But everybody need to study this to get a feel in management accounting. For management accounting, we need to start with the word costing. Because in lower level exams, management accounting is called costing. What is costing? Cost of a product. Cost of a student joining in our classes for ACCA, for CMA, for CIMA. I need to find out the cost of a student. Because if I will find out the cost, then I will be able to decide the price for that product. Suppose somebody joining for CMA US. I am charging 58,199. It's a world level same fees, no difference. Somebody is joining for only PA. I am charging 19,199. Why this price? How this price? Obviously costing need to be done. If I don't do costing, how I will be able to decide the price of the product? Now it is very difficult to find out cost of each individual student, believe me. Why I am taking mine example? Because when you have joined, you have given money and you feel sad while giving money and you know about me, so I can do. If you tell about your business, I will start doing costing of your business also. This is not related with exam, practical. A technical article you will study, I am preparing costing for you. Costing of Saraf Academy students. First of all, what are the expenditures in my organization? One is the fixed expenditure. This place rent. If this place is not rented, this is ownership, then whatever money invested in this place, interest of that, all these assets, depreciation, computer, 2 laptop, camera, mic and everything, repair and maintenance of this place, electricity, internet, in the office, staff salary, in the office, office rent, in the office, repairs and maintenance, study material cost. Then These institutes, ACCA, SEMA, we are the learning partner. We need to pay them annual subscription. The registered learning partner fees, like you all are paying annual subscription as a student. We are paying learning partner membership fees. These are the costs. But it is very difficult to find these costs for Anisk, for Subhasmita, for Alvin, for anybody. But then if I am going anywhere for working purpose, for interview, for job, they will ask this only. They are not asking how much you score in PM, how much you score in part 1, or wherever you are working. You need to focus. Maybe you are not responsible for that. You need to focus in our company, how the costing can be done better, how the cost of one item can be calculated. We are dealing in 5 products: CMA, ACCA, SEMA, CPA, Diploma, IFRS. For every product, for every subject, the fees is different. It's different. Similarly, if Hindustan, Unilever, ITC company, each product prices are different. Maybe in my case, I'm not doing costing by writing. Not writing anywhere in column, rows, cost, divide. I'm not doing. It is in my brain. Because if I will write, to whom I will show. But in a better structured organization, costing is done in a paper. These cost documents are internal paper. ITC is never telling you that the cost of a particular FMCG product, what is their cost. ITC Ashirwad Atta, they are selling, say, at the rate of 60 rupees per kg. But they are never telling to anybody in the general public in the financial statement what is the cost of 1 kg of Ashirwad Atta. They have a specific calculation done, which is not with me and you. That is their internal records. Based on their costing of the product, based on the inflation, based on the ingredients, material, machines, and all that, whatever they are incurring, they have calculated cost. In my case, I have done. In my case, it is not on a pen and paper. It is just in my brain. In my case, it is not to be shared even with my staff also. Because their brain is not that level that they can understand the costing. Even though they are working at me and I am teaching costing in the class, but their brain is not at that level. Whenever we are talking costing, it is internal matter. Internal matters are never shared with anybody else. That is only in the internal team. The cost records, the costing records are very important. You can't run your business. You can't run the show. You can't satisfy your customers. You can't satisfy your employee if the cost details are not properly prepared. When you prepare PL account, balance sheet, cash flow, there is a format. You need to follow a format as per IFRS, as per Ind AS, as per US GAAP. But for costing, there is no format. How you will calculate the cost details, how I will calculate, both are correct. There is no problem. But without costing details, we can't do business properly. Without cost of a student, I will not be able to price my products. I will not be able to compete with my competitors, what price they are charging for the classes. Suppose some student is saying that, sir, your fees is higher than others. What the student will say, I should be knowing what my competitors are charging. And it is not difficult to know. Calling them, becoming as a student and asking them, I can also do. Others are also doing. We need to understand whether we are working in a not-for-profit oriented organization, then also business is business. Business is to do business to earn income. In a not-for-profit oriented organization, also trust, society and all that, if they don't get money, how they will serve? So you as a management accountant, as a cost accountant in a company, need to do costing. The whole subject is going to teach us that costing. ये बताने वाला है. क्लास के बाद टेक्निकल आर्टिकल के बजाय आप जहां पर where you are working and maybe you are not in cost and management accounting area, try to think along those lines. Try to think what your company is manufacturing, what services they are providing, what are the types of costs they are incurring. In this entire subject, try to use this knowledge in your organization. आप बोलेंगे I am a student, I am not working anywhere. आपके पापा कहीं काम करते होंगे. Your mother must be working. Maybe they are doing business. अपना business में लगाइए. जिस दिन आप ये करेंगे, उस दिन you will have the प्राइम नॉलेज ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट, टेक्निकल आर्टिकल नहीं, अपना प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में सोचिए, अप्लाई दैट. In my organization, if I don't calculate cost of a student, I cannot fix the price. I cannot become more competitive. If I don't calculate the cost, I will not be able to control cost. Because control of cost will be possible if you know the cost details. That in the cost, this part is extra. This I can reduce without compromising on quality. So if I don't know the cost details, how I will reduce my cost without compromising on the quality? I can't do that. In my company, there is no inventory. There is no closing stock. But ITC, Hindustan, Unilever, any company, the closing stock are there. If you don't value the closing stock at cost, at value, how you will calculate your income? If from the sale price you need to deduct cost, then only you calculate income. If you don't know the cost from the sale, how you will deduct cost of sale to calculate income? That means costing information may be internal, but they are very essential for any type of organization. Now this cost, how we will calculate, this is the entire syllabus. I cannot teach in 5 minutes. But suppose just a simple example, I will say, suppose I will consider most of my cost based on number of students. Whether the rent of this place, whether depreciation, internet, electricity, staff salary, I will add up all the cost in the month. And then I will divide by number of students for all the courses. I will get per student fixed cost, per student cost, most of the cost. But is this logical? The question is coming 2-3 things. First of all, maybe this is logical. Is the number of student every month are same? That suppose last month 50 student, this month 48 student, next month 60 student, some month 100 student. How can I calculate cost per student when the actual number of students are always different? It is never matching with each month, never. So whether I will calculate cost per student based on the actual number of student, or whether I will calculate cost per student based on estimated number of students. In ITC, Hindustan, Lever, any company, whether they will calculate cost per unit based on projection, or whether they will calculate cost based on the actual results. Always based on projection. Because based on projection, you will start working. Based on projection, you will compare with the actual. Based on projection, you will be pricing. Reason being that, if suppose there is some loss by theft in my organization, I cannot charge from a student in the tuition fees loss by theft. If there is any abnormal gain, but Diwali bumper lottery, Christmas lottery in Prakash Saraf in Saraf Academy, I cannot charge lower fees from all of you. That's exceptional, abnormal. We don't consider abnormal thing. Similarly, in the normal also, normal means suppose I have seen in the last, you can say 2 years, the average enrollment in a month is 50 students. Then I will calculate cost per student based on 50, not based on 60 or 55, whatever is the actual. Because if I want to control cost, if I want to compare my performance, if I want to in advance know what will be the cost, what will be the, then I need to go with the standard, with the normal thing. But I will compare with actual. I will analyze why the cost is more, why the costing is higher, that I will check. But I will do the costing standard on the basis of standards, on the basis of normal, what is going to be the cost. But that normal calculation also is again a very difficult thing. If I will say all the students' cost, I will divide total cost by 50 students. Then to for ACCA, for CIMA, for CMA, for CPA, for CMA US, I should charge same fees. Why it is 19,199? Why it is 58,199? Why? That is not logical. The question is that if like this we will say cost per unit, for it, then to there is no Jamila, then to we don't need to study costing at all. The cost per unit will be calculated based on the resource consumption. If suppose CMA students will be taking part 1, part 2, 2 batches, part 1, part 2, approximately I take around 100 hours part 1, 100 hour part 2, around 35 classes of 3 hours each. So it is around 100, 200 hours. For 200 hours, I am charging 58,199. If somebody joining for PM, ACCA PM, then it's 80-hour class. Maybe 5 hours here and there. Then I am charging around 20,000 divided by 80. So 20,000 divided by 80 and 58,199 divided by 200. More or less same only. My pricing for every subject, every course is 100 to 200 hour per hour. When the student is paying me 58,199, 18% GST tax. 58,199, 18%, approximately 20% is coming around 12,000, 13,000. So I am getting around 42, 43,000 divided by 200. It is coming 200 per hour. That the student is taking class for 1 hour, I am charging 200. Similar is the case with other courses also. So I say to the student, 1 hour cost in our case is around 100 to 200. Now, if you say if a staff is working, even a peon is working in a day 10 hours. Sunday is holiday, 5 Sunday, 25 days, and a peon is charging 10,000. And a peon is charging 10,000 for 25 days working. 25 into 10 to 50 hour. 10,000 divided by 250, 40 per hour a peon is charging. A peon cost per hour is 40 if there is one peon. Other staff are also there. आप सबको अगर पर आवर कॉस्टिंग निकालोगे आपको लगेगा ये जो 200 रुपए पर आवर है ये बहुत कम है, ये तो कॉस्ट ऊपर चला जाएगा. पियोन का कॉस्ट ही 40 पर आवर है मंथली, तो और जो स्टाफ है, इंटरनेट है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है, सबका पर आवर कॉस्ट तो बहुत हाई है. इफ द नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स विल बी लेस then the costing 100, 200 per hour will not be possible. I will not be able to survive. If the number of students are more and more, then in that case I can survive by charging from each student 100 to 200 per hour. Because अगर आप एक दिन का खर्चा निकालेंगे तो मैं गिनता हूं अराउंड 15 से 20 हजार एक दिन का खर्चा है. एक दिन में कोई 500 स्टूडेंट तो नहीं आ रहे, एक दिन में अगर 10 घंटा से डिवाइड देते हैं तो वो खर्चा आता है. तो अगर एक घंटे में इफ देयर आर नॉट 20-25 स्टूडेंट्स, आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू, इफ इन अ बैच for 1 hour 20-25 students are not there, I cannot survive, because then the fees has to be increased, because that will not cover the cost. But from a student point of view, they are paying for 1 hour 100-200 rupees. दुनिया में कौन सी चीज है, कौन सा स्टाफ है, कोई भी जगह जहां पर आपको एक घंटा का 100 से 200 रुपये से कम में मिलता है? कुछ नहीं है, कोई चीज नहीं है दुनिया में ऐसा. So if the student is asking reduction in the fees, they need to understand whether they are asking logical points, illogical. नहीं हो सकता उससे कम. Maybe the students will become 3-4 times and all that. The costing per student going down, I can charge less. But that I cannot say that if in a month 50 students are joining, next month there will be 500 students. It's not a jadoo going on, PC Sarkar jadoo. So for that reason, my costing is done in my brain, and I can't reduce the fees below that. Not possible. Not possible to survive. When you are in your own domain, you will be able to understand the problems. Otherwise, at the next level, you always think that बहुत ज्यादा फीस लेते हैं. भाई दूर से grass is always greener other side. When you go there, then you find that the grass is not greener. The grass is yellow. It is becoming yellow. You need to understand. I'm not saying I'm saying this. I mean to say this is my side technical article, where this type of technical article written. You will say that, sir, you are talking about you. I said in every batch I am talking about me, because I don't know everywhere you all are working. मैं उसके बारे में भी बात कर सकता हूं. Because if I can manage 100 organization problems relating to pricing, relating to costing, then to they will hire me. Then to I will be getting employment. Then only I will be able to do a job, business. These are all business qualification. आप मेरा मत सोचिए. आपको जिसके बारे में नॉलेज है, कैलकुलेशन करने बैठ जाइए, गूगल सर्च करिए, समझिए क्या कॉस्टिंग है, वीडियो देखिए. टाइम लगेगा. Then you can't complete in 2 hours. Then you need to study 3, 4, 5 hours. It's good if you have time. लेकिन मजा आएगा. And if something you are enjoying, then to you are superpower. You are superpower. So it's not the technical article. You can study anything. मैं अपना example दे रहा हूं. Relating to cost calculation, we have traditional costing techniques. One is absorption, one is marginal. Relating to costing, we have new techniques developed: target costing, life cycle costing, activity-based costing. So many techniques are there. For the time being, these are names. We are going to study all these gradually. But मैं ऐसे ही नाम ले रहा हूं. If somebody is a CMA student P1, already these techniques were there. Already these were studied. फिर से study करेंगे. पढ़ना पड़ेगा ना. Throughput, theory of costing, theory of constraint, all these things we are going to study. They are there in CMA US Part D. They are there in CMA US some portion Part B also. दोनों में है. लेकिन ज़्यादातर Part D में है. So these things I am going to study in 2-3 classes, which is we can say CMA US Part D. The cost calculations, because if the cost is not calculated, you can't run your business. You can't control your business. You can't evaluate your performance. You cannot become competitive. You cannot price your products. You cannot find out income. You cannot value your inventory. आपको cost तो पता लगाना ही पड़ेगा. You have to find out costing of your product and services in a logical way, in a justified way, not illogical way. That is called costing. The knowledge of the word costing. Costing क्या है? Cost क्या है? Now traditional costing. Under traditional costing, there are two types of costing. One is absorption and one is marginal. These are two costing principles by which cost of a product or service can be calculated. Under traditional, when we say tradition, traditional means सदियों से, 100 years, 200 years back, लोग ऐसा, people are doing like this. That is called traditional. I am not speaking Hindi, English, Bengali, Urdu. I am talking about concept of costing. If I will say any language, my guarantee to make you understand. But if you don't do the recording, if you don't follow me, then whatever language I am saying, you will not understand. The question is that. So never raise a query that, sir, you are saying in Hindi, English and all that. It's my duty to make you understand. Believe me. I am not a language teacher. Again, I am reminding. कोई बोलेगा हिंदी बोल रहे हैं, इंग्लिश बोल रहे हैं, अरे यार क्या लैंग्वेज बोल रहे हैं यार. मैं आपको कॉस्टिंग समझा रहा हूं, अपना एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं, ट्यूशन का एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं, स्टूडेंट्स का एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं, उसमें कौन सी लैंग्वेज आ गई? हाउ कम द लैंग्वेज कम्स इनटू पिक्चर? देयर आर मेनी हु कांट से, कांट दे मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड? बोले बगैर भी समझाया जा सकता है. देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ इंग्लिश हिंदी, इट्स अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग. Improve your eagerness to understand every concept. Forget about the language. So, under traditions, since sadiyon se traditionally, we are doing calculation of cost per unit calculation in a volume basis. Volume basis means what? I said in my organization, rent, electricity, power, depreciation is all divided by number of students. That number of student is my volume. This is my output. Number of students divide करेंगे. Then I said number of student नहीं, tuition hour. Because CMA student taking 200 hours of classes. ACCA PM student taking 80 hours of classes. सब तो अलग अलग classes ले रहे हैं ना. तो in place of number of student, I will take tuition hour. That is also volume. Traditionally, the people are saying, the world is saying, the costing should be calculated based on volume. Based on volume. What is volume? Based on volume. Based on volume. Volume means maybe number of units, maybe total labor hour, maybe total machine hour, or maybe whatever you want to say. In a capital intensive organization, generally we say volume may be machine hour. In a labor intensive organization, volume may be labor hour. We will calculate the cost per unit of volume. In my organization, per student hour, 1 घंटे पढ़ाने का खर्चा, whatever you say. Traditionally, we calculate cost per unit based on volume. So absorption costing says that whatever is going to be your estimated cost in a month, in a quarter, in a year, that will be divided by estimated volume. Monthly cost divided by monthly volume. Quarterly cost divided by quarterly volume. Yearly cost divided by yearly volume will give you cost per unit of volume. If the volume is number of units, cost per unit. If the volume is labor hour, cost per labor hour. If the volume is machine hour, cost per machine hour. Whatever you say. We are saying in this traditional costing method, there is no distinction between variable cost and fixed cost. In my case, suppose internet, electricity is variable cost. Why? When I am teaching, then the internet and electricity is getting used. When I am not teaching, the internet is not that much usage. Electricity is not that much required. So many lights not required switch on. Because if I don't switch on so many lights, the vision will not be so much good. So once the class is over, half of the lights are switched off. So I can see that when I'm taking the class, when I'm teaching, there are additional costs. But rent of this place, staff salary, depreciation of this computer, laptop, camera, they are not dependent on number of tuition hours, number of students. We are saying that in traditional costing, which is called absorption costing, traditional absorption costing, we are not concerned whether it is a fixed cost, whether it is a variable cost. Variable cost vary with the output. Fixed cost, whether output is more or less, fixed is fixed. We calculate every cost per unit per volume. We calculate in traditional costing every cost per unit. That is, we calculate total production cost per unit. But in the traditional, there is one more method which is called marginal costing. Marginal means additional cost to produce additional output. If I will say that in the batch there are 100 students, one more student join in the batch. In my case, the marginal cost is only 20%. 18% GST, 1 or 2% if I will consider variable cost further. So if somebody joining for CMA US 58,199, 20% around 13,000-14,000 is my cost. Balance 42-43 is my income. If I am already generating income. If by teaching 100 students already the revenue is greater than the cost, then one more student joining in the class, then my income will be 42,000 on that student. There is no further cost. Then why not to that student I will charge less fees? I will charge 40, 45, I can charge 30 also, that is also income. Kya problem hai? But then why I will charge from other student 58? From one student I will charge 40, from another 58, from another 30. That's not ethical and that's not possible also. The same product sold in the same market to the same customers, you cannot have a different price. The prices can be different when the market is different, wholesale, retail, export, import. The prices can be different when the quality is different, features are different. Otherwise not. How come? So I have to charge the same price from every student, whether they are coming late, whether they are coming early or any time. Similar is the case with Hindustan, Unilever, ITC, any company. It's not mine. So when we calculate cost, we calculate fixed cost also. Ki considering my all the expenditures, what is my per hour costing in Saraf Academy? 100 to 200 rupees. Considering that, I need to charge fees from the students. But if at any time number of students are more, that doesn't mean that my cost is 100 to 200. It reduces. Any time if the students are less, that doesn't mean that the cost is 100 to 200. If the number of students are less, then the cost escalate. Because by lower volume, the cost is getting covered. But I need to understand that in my case, it is not possible. Any business which is doing, any organization which is doing business customer basis, order basis, that is not homogeneous product. That is different thing for a different customer. जो जैसा बोलेगा वैसा. So for additional customer, whatever our additional cost, if the customer is ready to pay more than that, then I am ready to accept his offer. In my case, if somebody is telling me I will pay 50,000, I won't accept. Because then why I will charge from other student before only 58,000? Why? There is any problem that I am charging from one student 50, from another 58? Sometimes some of the students says that, sir, on website the less fees is written. Again, they will not understand. In the website, the fees is written without GST. Once you proceed, it will add 18% GST, it will come the same fees. Never we have charged in our life from any student different fees. Never. Whether you are from UK, US, Tanzania, Saudi Arabia, Germany, France, England, anywhere, Australia, India, Kerala, this same fees. One pricing policy in Saraf Academy. No different pricing for different students. That's my principle. That's my ethics. But I mean to say that if any additional student is coming in this batch, and if already I am generating income, there is no additional cost. I can charge a lesser price from that student. Still I will be earning. But in my case, it is not possible. But in the organization where they are not dealing in homogeneous product, they are selling different thing to different customers based on requirement, based on issues, then in that case, whatever will be our additional cost, we will charge that only from the customer. And the other customer cannot complain, because that is a different job and this is a different job. ACCA and CMA students are charged differently. They cannot question, sir, आप ACCA से तो कम ले रहे हैं, तो आप भी ACCA का खाली PM ही पढ़ लो, उतना ही ले लेंगे आपसे भी. पढ़ लो, मेरे को क्या है. Not part 2, not part 1 के अंदर जो और A area, E area, ये सब मत पढ़ो, कोई बात नहीं. A, E, F, no issue. But my costing is same for CMA, US and ACCA. There is no difference. My costing is same for CIMA also. There is no difference. एक घंटे का 100 से 200 रुपया खर्चा है. Depending upon whatever number of students I am teaching, I have calculated my cost is 100 to 200. तो अगर मेरे को 100 to 200 नहीं मिलेगा per student, I cannot survive. So I mean to say that, then why in the marginal costing, we will say cost calculation is only the cost which is variable, which is not fixed. Rent, salary and all that we will not calculate per unit. Why? Because business decisions in many organizations are not dependent on full cost. You have limited resources, you want to produce 1 or 2 products, which one, कौन सा बनाए, आपको ये देखना है किसमें कॉमन खर्चे के अलावा एक्स्ट्रा खर्चा ज्यादा है, किसमें ज्यादा इनकम है. Decision making is not possible by traditional absorption costing. Decision making will be possible by marginal costing. You will only consider the additional cost, the variable cost to do something, to produce a product, to produce an output. You will consider only variable cost. मेरे केस में संभव नहीं है, because it's an homogeneous product, 5 products for whole world, same type of resources, same faculty, same system, same staff, same thing. I cannot charge different prices for the same product from different customers. But there are so many organizations which are dealing based on any software company, TCS, Infosys. I am making a software for Infosys, somebody is making a software for Infosys. The requirement, the man hour is not same. When the products are different and all that, then in that case we can follow marginal. We should follow marginal. And at the same time in my business also, suppose I have limited time to teach. I cannot teach 20 hours in a day. I can teach 7-8 hours in a day other than other workings. So I want to teach that subject where the income is more, where I am getting more income per hour, where I am getting more, I will be teaching that subject at that time. For that reason we are saying that marginal costing even in my business is helpful for decision making. Which product, which market, where I should produce, what I should sell, how I can compete, that is not possible by traditional costing. But when we prepare income statement, we calculate income in PL account, financial accounting. We deduct cost based on absorption costing. We calculate inventory value based on absorption costing. Marginal costing is not allowed in Ind AS, IFRS or US GAAP for calculating accounting income, for calculating cost to deduct from the sales. We can't do marginal, but both are required. Marginal are required for internal purpose, for decision making, for optimization of resources, and absorption is required for preparing financial statements and all that. Absorption. one more story is there. I said that when I will calculate the total cost per student, I will divide by expected number of students. Suppose my monthly cost is 5 lakh and average students are enrolling in a month 50. So 5 lakh divided by 50. 5 lakh divided by 50, how much it will come? I think 1000 per student. 5 lakh divided by 50 or maybe 10,000, whatever. 1000 per student 1 month cost पड़ रहा है. So if a student is taking classes for 1 year, then in that case 10,000 per student, other than the GST, other than any other cost. But then just for example, if I will say that in my organization monthly cost 5 lakh and 50 students normally joins, so per student it is coming 1000 per month. Who says that every month actual number of students will be 50? Suppose in a month actual number of student is 60. So 60 into 1000, 6 lakh. But my cost will be 5 lakh only. I have done the work of 6 lakh in 5 lakh only. I have saved 1 lakh. But in another month the number of students are 45. So 45 into 1000, 4 lakh 50. I have done the work of 4 lakh 50,000. But I have incurred 5 lakh. So 50,000 loss. In absorption costing, we calculate this. In absorption costing based on our rate, whatever rate based on volume we have calculated, we calculate that in a month there is bad or good. In a month there is saving in cost or extra cost. If the output volume is greater than the expected, 50 student, actual 60, then there is a gain. But if the output, if the volume is 45, less than 50, then there will be a loss. Now why the output is less? Why the number of student in place of 50, 45? Obviously I have done something bad. I have not done marketing. I have not done the counseling properly. I have done some mistake. But because of my mistake, the cost is not going down. The cost is going to remain same. So if I am operating less than the normal volume, then in the business I am, you can say, suffering. I am not running my business properly. And if in the business my volume is greater than the expected, that means I am doing a good business. The volume is average. 50 is not the maximum, average. The actual number of students may be greater than 50, maybe less than 50. If it is less than 50, it is giving me loss. If it is greater than 50, it is giving me income. That we are calculating in absorption costing. That we don't calculate in marginal. So absorption costing is required for preparing financial statement, finding out value of inventory, finding out total cost, for finding out loss or gain in a month. But marginal costing is required for decision making. One additional order should be accepted or not. At what minimum price we can offer. Where the limited resources should be utilized. Marginal costing is used in decision making. But absorption costing is used for other purpose. Both have advantage, disadvantage. Where absorption is used, marginal cannot be used. Income statement, PL account, balance sheet, you can't prepare by marginal, not allowed. But decision making you can't do by marginal. You can't do by absorption. You have to use marginal. These are traditional costing technique for calculating cost so that you can take business decisions. These are called the traditional costing technique. They are running for years. When I studied costing in my life first, maybe 95, 96, at that time they were there, they are now, and they will be there after 100 years also. So what is the change in the syllabus? What the technical article will say? Marginal, I am saying, with examples, with my own understanding, you correlate with your practical example. Technical article पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. Obviously technical article में कोई और example दिया होगा. They have written something else, some other example, some other industry. अगर लग रहा है कि वो पहले हम ये तो समझे ना, then तो technical article पढ़ने जाएंगे. और technical article मेरे हिसाब से उतना ज्यादा डिटेल में एग्जाम के लिए नहीं पढ़ा जा सकता. उतना पढ़ने का टाइम है नहीं. अभी पहली क्लास है, फर्स्ट क्लास है, वी आर जस्ट स्टार्टिंग. 4 क्लास बाद देखिएगा यू आर लैगिंग बिहाइंड. वट एवर आई एम टीचिंग यू आर नॉट एबल टू कोप अप. तो उतना पढ़ लेंगे, गनीमत है. उसके बाद भी आपके पास टाइम है, खाली है, पढ़िए जरूर. देयर इज नो बैड थिंग इफ वी आर स्टडिंग एनीथिंग एक्स्ट्रा. but then you need to have a research mode to do those study. Otherwise आपको कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, ना मैं जो समझाऊंगा आएगा, ना टेक्निकल, ना एग्जाम देंगे, ना कुछ होगा. So you will puzzled yourself and then demotivation, dissatisfaction will come. Now, suppose in exam there is a question which is giving you 4 or 5 types of cost detail. Suppose for Hindustan Unilever, they are making Saraf Excel. For Saraf Excel, the cost details are given. Material, I don't know in making Saraf, what are the materials required, maybe caustic soda, this, that, malum nahi hai bhai. But they have said that for making 1 kg of Saraf Excel, this much caustic soda, this much color, paint, vagara vagara required. Okay. And then they said that this is the labor cost, this is the machining cost, this is the packaging cost, and all that they are saying. This is the marketing cost, this is the administration cost. They are talking you a cost per unit. Whether they are talking about Hindustan Unilever, whether they are talking about Saraf Excel, मेरे को भी नहीं मालूम. कभी लिखते नहीं है वो ऐसे. Generally X Limited is a company making 2 products A and B. ऐसा करके लिखते हैं, which is not related, but those data are taken from the practical industry only. But they don't want to name any practical organization in the questions. Neither in SEMA, neither in CMA, neither in ACCA, no exams. All are hypothetically practical question with a hypothetical name. आपको cost details दिया हुआ है. आपको बोल रहा है कि ये cost detail are prepared by marginal or they are prepared by absorption. If in the cost detail they have calculated fixed cost per unit also, then it is absorption. But if they have calculated in the cost detail fixed cost not per unit, they have only calculated variable cost per unit, then in that case it is marginal. Because if somebody will ask you cost per unit, as per absorption, it is fixed plus variable both. As per marginal, it is only variable. But the cost per unit will never include selling and administration expenditures. It will only include manufacturing expenditures. Suppose in my case, I am doing Google AdWords, I am doing LinkedIn ad, I am doing Facebook ad. I am not doing, but I am just saying, they will not be included in the cost of the students. Per student cost, they will not be considered. But the rent, salary, staff, depreciation, all these will be considered in cost per unit of the student. When you calculate cost per unit, whether marginal or absorption, you will consider only production cost. You will not consider non-production cost. Non-production are admin, selling. Admin means office salary, office rent, office electricity, office depreciation. Selling means sales, marketing, sales manager salary, carriage outward, all these things, distribution. We don't consider cost per unit in traditional costing, full cost. We consider only production cost per unit. In absorption, only variable and fixed both in absorption. In marginal, only variable production cost. So if the cost details are given and they have added production, non-production, everything, and they are asking you below, as per the absorption costing, what is the cost per unit? You will consider only all production cost fixed variable, selling admin not. If they are asking what is the marginal cost per unit, you will consider only variable production cost, nothing else. Selling admin is still not there. In traditional costing, we don't consider selling admin cost as a cost per unit. I'm not saying that while calculating income, I will not deduct all the cost to calculate income. I will deduct. But technically we say that when we calculate cost per unit as per traditional costing, marginal absorption, we don't consider selling and administration cost as cost per unit. Why? Suppose I will say that Hindustan Unilever, for producing Saraf Excel, they incurred a particular amount of expenditure. Now in the year 2022, they have done advertisement of Saraf Excel. The advertisement they have done, that advertisement cost is not going to give benefit in 2023. Somebody will say, why? Sir, because of the advertisement, the product promoted, but nobody can give surety that the benefit we will be getting in 23 also. So if Hindustan Unilever produces 100 kg of Surf Excel, they sold out 80 kg. So from 80 kg sale price, they will deduct production cost of 80 kg. 20 kg production cost will become closing stock. From sale of 80 kg, we will deduct cost of 80 kg. And we will deduct entire marketing admin cost in 2022. We will not consider any marketing or admin cost as a part of inventory. Nothing. जो marketing किया, जो administration किया 2020 में गया. So your income is gross profit minus sales and admin, net profit. Like in PL account, we say sale minus cost of goods sold, gross profit. Gross profit minus selling admin, net profit. Selling admin are fully deducted for the period. But gross profit is calculated only by deducting that cost which is related with the sale quantity. From the sale, you will deduct cost of sale and you deduct entire marketing admin every expenditure. You will not carry forward marketing admin expenditure as a part of inventory to next period. We don't prepare as per marginal income statement. But if somebody for internal purpose want to prepare marginal, then the sale price minus variable cost will be the contribution. Like in my case, whatever tuition fees you all are giving, I consider 20% as a variable cost, 18% GST, 2% further. So if somebody is a CMA student, 58,199, 20% gone. So I am having 58,199 minus 20%. Balance is left. From that balance, I deduct all the fixed expenses, salary, rent, anything, and then I will get income. But I cannot deduct fixed expenses from one student fees. Entire month total contribution, entire month total revenue, minus 20% variable cost, balance 80% is my contribution, minus entire month fixed cost will give me profit or loss. So in marginal, the profit or loss amount will be different. In absorption, the profit and loss amount will be different. In absorption, the fixed production cost I am deducting only relating to goods sold. The fixed cost which is related with inventory added to inventory. In absorption, entire fixed cost I am deducting. Hindustan Unilever, 100 kg they produced, 80 kg sold. Fixed production cost I will deduct only 80 kg cost. 20 kg cost is not deducted in absorption. But in marginal, even the 20 kg fixed cost is also deducted. Because in marginal, 20 kg is only the variable cost value. The fixed cost is not part of inventory value. The fixed cost is fully deducted in calculating income. The marginal costing is used for decision making. Absorption costing is used for preparing financial statement. This I have written here the purpose of cost. Then I am saying standard cost. How can we calculate? Different types of standards I have not explained. This fixed flexible budget I have not explained. But I was saying about this cost absorption marginal costing. This I was saying. I will just request to all of you, before the next class, do the recording at least this last 1 hour. But if earlier also you do, you don't have the general question left. So you will be very clear in your mind. Read these notes up till here. Read these notes up till here before advanced costing methods. Read this. There are so many things I have not explained. I will explain in the next class. And then along with explanation, I will be doing some questions also on marginal absorption in the next class. Because that is there for सीमा, ACCA, CMA और any Indian exam, any exam, सब exam के लिए relevant. Exam में questions आएंगे. Marginal absorption के ऊपर questions आएंगे. So we will be doing that in the next class because still it will take around 1 hour of explanation. When I will speak 1 hour, then we can complete, we can start doing questions. My objective in the next class is to complete this revision portion. Overhead, per unit, per hour, under over absorbed, marginal absorption, some basic understanding of standard cost and all that. It will take entire next class. Then we will be moving further, that is bringing everybody at the same level. So we will be doing on Friday further study. There is no homework as such to do any problem. If you are doing, you can do, there is no problem. You can ask in the class, but I have not given any homework. Just doing the recordings and reading the class slides, whatever I am sharing. You want, you can read the PM material also. It's upon you. You want, you can read the technical article also, Google search, whatever you can do. I don't have any issue. यार उमंग जी 20 बार बोल दिया यार कि जब क्लास खत्म होएगी, हर क्लास के बाद मैं क्लास स्लाइड्स दूंगा, और आप 2 साल से पढ़ रहे हैं, हर क्लास के बाद मैं क्लास स्लाइड्स देता हूं, अभी भी ये बात बाकी रह गया क्या यार? तो क्या सीएम में यूएस क्यों है? उसको देना मना है क्या? वो पाप किया है क्या? उसको नहीं पढ़ा रहे हैं क्या? तो उसको क्यों नहीं देंगे? आप एक बार अपना मेल चेक करिए, मेल में जब जब पीएम मैंने पढ़ाया है आपको भी क्लास स्लाइड्स दी है. ठीक है, चलिए बाय. तो क्या आई नीड टू मीट विथ somebody is waiting for me. I am leaving. Thank you to all of you. Take care. Tada.